like as a person?
Well, I loved EAZY. I loved working for EAZY. He was like a lot of different types of person. I mean, he was short but stocky. You know, he's about 5 feet. You know, but he was stocky. He could stand still and do a backflip and land on his feet. His upper you know, body strength was amazing. I saw him knock some guy out at a video shoot. Some big dude was getting in the way of Mission Lady video shoot, and EAZY walks up. He's probably 250, 300-pound guy. EAZY knocks him out with one punch. So EAZY was bad like that, but he was also funny. He was quiet. He was kind of shy. He liked to spend money. He was very generous. Used to give me weed, you know, whenever I needed it, which was nice. And you know, this was a whole new world for me. I was, you know, never involved in anything like this before. And you know, a couple times, like I did, even towards the end when he was in the hospital.
Even towards the end when he was in the hospital.
He called me and wanted me to give him my phone card because he had phone calls he needed to make and didn't want Tamika to know about it.
Wish we were there. Wish we were there, breaking all the rules when niggas try to play fair. Ain't nothing fair in this game of life. You gotta get yours before you lose your life. The game is designed for them to win. You think I'm lying? Visit the pen. They already got a number reserved for your ass. Don't be a fool and join their class. They want you to enroll in their institution so they can pimp you with their new form of prostitution. Wake up, my niggas, and hear me clear. Don't be a slave to this game called fear. You got a mind, you gotta use it. Because if you don't, they will abuse it. Don't be a victim to their game. Learn the rules, my niggas, and do the same. There's a lot more money on that other side. And my niggas, you don't have to run and you don't have to hide.
Even towards the end when he was in the hospital, he called me
and wanted me to give him my phone card because he had phone calls he needed to make and didn't want Tamika to know about it.
Don't be a slave to this game called fear. And my niggas, you don't have to run and you don't have to hide.
Because he had phone calls he needed to make and didn't want Tamika to know about it. So, you know, we were kind of tight that way. And if there was any kind of an emergency or anything, you know, I'd be the guy to go, you know, help deal with the problem. And there were many problems.
It sounded like you and him had a special bond.
Yeah, I thought so. You know, it's like even the guys at the end, I was the last ruthless employee to be fired. The last one. Yeah, everyone went before me. And they all told me, EAZY told Tamika not to fire me, to keep me on. So I was told, you know, by 3 or 4 different people that were close to him. But, you know, I wouldn't have stayed anyway.
You know, you start your whole, you know, adult film company and you're doing your thing with that. And then EAZY E called you one day from the hospital.
Yeah, I was at his house shooting in Norwalk. And he called me and I'm like, What was he calling me for? He bugging me on my set. I had to stop shooting. And he called me and said, hey, watch yourself. Huh? You know, I don't remember nothing else but watch yourself. He said that twice. And I didn't know what he was talking about till later when I found out what he had. But then I seen what he was saying. He talking about watch the girls, you know. Because I was shooting girls and, you know, there's, you know, benefits with it sometimes. So he was telling me, watch the girl. Because he never wanted me to know he had AIDS. He never told me. He didn't want, I didn't get to go to the hospital, nothing at all.
Right. I mean, he called you, and by this point, he had full-blown AIDS.
I don't know. At that time, this was before Cedars-Sinai.
Okay.
This was 2 weeks before Cedars-Sinai.
Okay.
He went in for bronchitis or whatever. I think it was some kind of breathing. That's what he went in that hospital for. That's where he called me from the little hospital. And then I guess 2 weeks later, he went to Cedars-Sinai. But by the time he got to Cedars-Sinai, it might have been full-blown or something.
Right, because you went to go see him. He was already in a coma.
Yeah, that was after the surgery. They was trying to do a surgery to clear his lungs or whatever it is. And they knew whatever it was, 50-50 chance that he can not come out of it. So they put him in a coma. He wasn't in a coma. They induced the coma. Yeah.
How many of y'all knew that EAZY was in the hospital 2 weeks before he ended up in the major hospital, Cedars-Sinai? How many people knew that? How many people have paid attention to that Vlad interview where that question was asked and stated? Did they show that in the movie that EAZY was in the hospital 2 weeks prior to being in the hospital? It's bullshit. I'm going to tell you exactly how I remember it in 1995, word for word. One day on the radio, it came on and they said, Eric EAZY E. Wright have been admitted to the hospital with full-blown AIDS. And that he was hanging on to his life. About 5 days later, they said he was dead. That's how I remember the story. Anybody from 1995, please chime in. I graduated in 95, man. I'm trying to tell you. Of course I remember this shit. I'm going to tell you, there's a couple more ironic stories in there. My man said that EAZY called him from the hospital because there was a few people he needed to talk to, and he ain't want Tamika to know who he was talking to. He ain't want Tamika to know who he was talking to. So he asked my man if he could borrow a calling card. You know, the same type of shit you use from prison, a calling card. To call somebody of importance that he ain't want Tamika to know who he was talking to. EAZY called his mama. EAZY called his father. Who did EAZY call? Did EAZY call his son? Did he call Dr. Dre? Did he call Suge? Who did he call? Who did he call? Who did he call? You know, DJ Yella said some shit about he wasn't able to see EAZY in the hospital. But watch, you gonna see, he gonna double back though. And then come with the, but I got to see him 2 hours after Dr. Dre seen him, and you know, he was in a coma and I didn't realize it. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man. What happened to EAZY, man? What the fuck happened to EAZY, man?
When you walk into that hospital room and you see your close friend, the guy that changed your entire life, you know, that took you from being a valet to, you know, having a career that lasted for the rest of your life. And you saw him in a coma with tubes and the beeping and everything else like that.
You know, the crazy thing is when I walked in, I did not know he couldn't talk. So I go in, I grab his hand, and I'm talking to him. You know, he ain't responding, but I feel his hand. He was not supposed to move. His hand ain't supposed to move. But I feel him like he knew I was there, that he might be able to hear me. And then when I went out, that's when I found out he was in an induced coma. I'm like, I'm up here talking to him, and I'm like, what? You know, I'm just like, wow. It's crazy to see one of your best friends, you know, dying or, you know, in a bad shape. That's something different. That's something that's hard to take.
The only question I'm asking is what the fuck happened to EAZY, bro? The only question I'm asking is what the fuck happened to EAZY, man? The niggas grabbing your hand like, help me? And you didn't unplug all that shit, nigga, and take that nigga out the hospital, nigga? What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? You know what happened, nigga. You know what happened.
I don't know who did what. I ain't buying it. Dude, to see somebody who was healthy as EAZY go in the hospital coughing and come out dead after a short period of time never sat well with me. I don't know what happened.
So did anyone go, I mean, did you get a chance to go to the hospital?
Nah, dude. Nah. But I did see his marriage certificate.
Okay.
His name was typed on it. I thought that was kind of weird.
You said his marriage?
The name was typed on it, wasn't signed.
What is that?
It just seemed weird to me, that's all.
Yeah.
Jerry showed it to me. Now, if I'm looking at a false document, I don't know, but I'm just saying he showed me, look at this. You know, I ain't saying shit, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
But it never felt right, man.
So it just didn't feel like the usual process.
Right.
Someone would have a...
Magic Johnson had HIV around the same time. He's still kicking it today. He's undetectable. EAZY had just as much money back then.
Oh, so going down this road, what would be someone's motive? Because there was Suge Knight kind of like jokingly said this on
I saw that
on a TV show, and said that he was someone put AIDS in a needle and gave it to him or something. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not the one to make a comment on that. I don't know nothing about that right there.
Group NWA has now become single artists themselves and pretty big. Are you still friends with your group?
Yeah, a couple of them. Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Yella.
Okay, what about the other one?
Who? Talking about.
All right. Okay.
The guy that was Dr. Dre. That was, you remember that group, the World Class Wrecking Crew? That wore lipstick, stick lace, biker shorts, and, you know, ruffles, eyeliner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you go look back like to his old albums before where he did songs like The Cabbage Patch, The Fly, He's Bionic, Dr. Dre, and you look back at him in his doctor suit, you could tell where he originally came from. See, if you look back at me, you could, when my beginning, I did the Boys in the Hood. So I was cruising down the street in my 6'4". So it's 93 now, and Dre is all of a sudden cruising down the street in his 6'4" now. So I figured he like a 93 wannabe. Because back then, he did all this Cabbage Patch stuff and dancing and wore the lipstick and the doctor outfits with the stethoscope and did all this techno music. He was never really from the streets. And I figured, like, what he talking about? He said he's got a song I call G Thing. I figured G stuff come from the concrete, and that's the streets, which he was never from the streets. Okay. Only reason why people affiliate him with the streets is through me. So it's like, where we from, Compton and Long Beach, they don't get along with each other. See, like, people in Compton really don't, you know, claim Dre as being from Compton, and they don't claim Snoop from being from Long Beach. So it's like, it's still a whole little gimmick he got.
wherever you be. Calling Dr. Dre to surgery.
A shiny doctor's outfit with the stethoscope and the whole thing, and come up there and put on a show. You know, it haunted me later, but you know, that's what we did.
Damn, E, they tried to fade you on Dre Day, but Dre Day only met Easy Fade Day.
In this episode, we'll be exploring Harry-O the Octopus, seeing the intricacies of how this empire was interwoven in the gangster rap from its origins. From the godfather of gangster rap, EAZY E, to Godfather Entertainment, who was alleged to distribute Death Row Records. I give you an incredible story, sinister plots, intricate twists, abstract.
So you were actually there when Suge Knight, Harry-O made their initial deal.
Met. I know how they met. I know the whole thing.
Okay.
Harry-O was doing an album on Lydia, his wife.
Right.
So me and him sellers, I tell him, I say, look, you doing an album on Lydia, you better use Dr. Dre on that album. You know him and Easy fell out. So he ain't working right now.
Okay.
So Harry took that advice and started looking for Dr. Dre.
And Suge Knight?
And Suge Knight was his manager.
Dr. Dre's manager.
Yeah, we'll leave it right there.
Okay.
And maybe later on we'll do another interview and talk about it.
Okay. And the rest of this. Did you ever deal with Eazy?
I spoke to Eazy one time when I was on the street, and I spoke to him one time through Harry-O while we were in jail.
Okay.
A young man by the name of Eric had told me about Suge's background, and that Suge was aware of my background, and that he was somewhat intrigued behind my past, and he had wanted to hook up with me in some form or fashion. Suge had 5 or 6 pending cases, which David Kenner was able to control and get rid of. Interscope would have not been able to deal with the death row problems if it wasn't for Kenner. Kenner was the mediator. He would go to him and tell Jimmy how much money he needs to fix the situation and let him handle it his way. David is as smooth as you want to be and as vicious as you want to be, given the scenario.
I mean, in the past I heard what I heard, but like I said, you know, those is rumors. Me and Dude had individual talks on personal levels about things that really went down or really took place. You know, I'll tell you this much. I asked him a question one day, and I said, because he did keep it solid. He said, nigga, I was eating. But then I asked him, when did it go bad? And he looked at me and he said, when Pac got out of jail. That's when things changed.